The first thing I wanted to start today was just to show you a little bit of information that happens within your Elite Parks environment and where we set some of the key attributes to work alongside the Elite Insights report. So for example, let's navigate to the park record. And on the park record, right at the bottom, we've got a new section called Analysis. In here is where you're going to be able to set some of your key attributes, things like the analytics base count, which will give you that overall number of base count on that particular park, which it then can be compared against your peers. The park acquisition date and the park disposal date. And then in here, we have a set of attributes that will be the same for everybody's system, where you can set your country, your region, and your county. We also have the same on the booking grades. If I just show you as an example and navigate to the booking grade area, you will see against all of the different booking grades is a set and analysis group code, where within these codes you will be able to set each individual grade that is relevant to all of the different groups. And once again, these groups are exactly the same on everybody's system, so they can be compared like for like. And as a final example, if I show you Deal Extras, we have done the same within your Master Deal Extras table, where you will have an analysis group code, where you can set each individual extra to that main comparison area that will be the same on everyone's system. For example, accessories, decks, installs. This will enable us where we do have the final set of report where everybody will be matched to the same value, and it keeps everything then consistent, so you're matching like for like. Now that we have all of your attributes set within the system, let's now navigate to the main Elite Insights report so we can have a look at more detail. Within Elite Insights, we have those three key models: bookings, site fees, and unit sales. If we have a look around the bookings model as an example, we're looking at those attributes we looked at earlier within the system. You can see now how these can be used. So where you've got your regions, these are where they're specifically categorized within your park table. And where you've got your counties, your parks, and your holiday type. Remembering that all of your key filters like year, month, and week at the top right-hand side, this will always give you a narrative, so you know exactly what's being filtered. The same goes down the left-hand side. As you can see, I've selected England as my region, and this will always display in the attribute context within the center. Utilizing your filters, you'll be able to quickly analyze the data in comparison to previous years against your peers within that industry average on any one of our tabs. So very quickly, I can change a year that I want to compare to, where I've now selected all years, or I can just select a specific year and see exactly what is going on within that year. And taking note of this top bar here, where the data covers the year 22 for the months May and the week number of 22, and I can get down to that granular level. If we look at the comparisons by park, this is important to note within the data aspect. So again, I've got my filters along the right hand side, and I've got my selectors down the left, where I can specifically go to a region, a county, the type of holiday, and all of these are going to be the same throughout everybody's system. So I'm able to compare like for like. The important thing to note when you're doing a comparison by park is that the system will allow you to get down to that region, that county, or that holiday type. If you get down to a level where, for example, there is only one or two parks within that area, the system will automatically overwrite and display with a different visual to make sure that you're not able to compare on a one-by-one park basis. Let's have a look at the site fee model. Within the site fee model, we've taken specific care to make sure the analysis is relevant to what you are looking for, where you will be able to analyze that monthly fee, the annual fee, but also that monthly plot fee as well. We've got the site fee analysis where you can do by region, county, and where you can specifically see how your park compares to the anonymised parks within the area. Moving on to the unit sales model, where we've got sales and margin, and similar to the bookings module, where you'll be able to do your region and your county, but where you'll individually be able to select each individual year, month, and week number. You can also see your finance penetration, again utilizing the key filters down the left hand side. And then when we get down to the level of park, the same will apply, where if it gets down to a certain level of 1 to 2 parks as an example, the visual will change so you cannot see that individual park, although the parks are all anonymized. You will always see your park in the darker color and how it is compared against your peers within the industry. One of the things I wanted to go through with you today is how we use the data and how you're able to see the anonymized data as well as the data against your peers. The way we've built the technical architecture of the platform is when we pull the data, we essentially do two different pulls. The first one is where we pull the data directly into your report for your individual needs. This data is where you will be able to see, for example, your individual park names and your park data. It's important to note that when we pull your data into your report, we still do not pull any sensitive information, like first names, booking numbers. We only pull the attributes that are required to display on the report. And then secondly, the second pull of data, which is all of the other parks that are contained within the report. Again, this is only pulled with the key comparisons that are needed for the report to function. And no data is extracted or held within our area that will display first names, last names, addresses. All of this sensitive information is not displayed or shown or stored anywhere within our platforms, which means that all of the models are completely GDPR compliant. The last thing I wanted to show you today is just how you can utilize Power BI to display and share this information with your colleagues. What you're able to do is, as a first example, is where you can simply copy link. With the copy link, you're able to send that link to other members within your organization and they will be able to get directly to this report. Please remember that licensing is applicable to ensure that you do have the correct license to access Power BI to be able to view this report. Secondly, how you're able to export the report. You can export it in Excel and analyze it further, where you're able to display the report directly in a PowerPoint report, where you can embed it as an actual image to show in a presentation, or embed it as live data. And let me show you as an example. What you will see here is where you get the dialog box pop up, which allows you to either copy the link directly and then embed it into your report that you may have already made, or you can open in PowerPoint. You can see here how you have the option to embed the report with the data filters you've selected. Again, this is really valuable when you're building a presentation together and you've selected those attributes and the key filters that you need, and then you can embed them directly into that report. So let's hit open in PowerPoint. Once that report has been fully loaded into PowerPoint, you will then see that this graph is completely showing in a live data way. So for example, I can continue using my filters directly within PowerPoint. Again, a very powerful feature when doing a presentation where you don't necessarily have to be in Power BI. You could be within your presentation with a lot of different slides and then be able to show that live visual view of your EliteInsights platform. So in this example is where you're using the live data. Let's have a look at the second example where you're able to export to PowerPoint as an image, where you're able to then set current values. You can then tick exclude hidden report tabs or only export the current page. So with those options set, we then select export, which will then export your full visual into a PowerPoint presentation ready to report on to your colleagues. Once that's downloaded, let's take a look at our unit sales model. So as you can see, Power BI has downloaded the complete visual into a PowerPoint presentation, where you'll be able to see all of the unit sale module visuals ready to go for a presentation. You can amend these as you need, as you normally would within PowerPoint presentation. The next one I wanted to show you is how you can also explore this data. And when you explore the data is where you can then set some of your data types on the right hand side and how you can bring them in to be a matrix or as a visual. So for example, if I look at my measurements and my comparisons and my deal finance, I can then select some of these areas where that will show me directly on the left hand side what it is I'm wanting to get down to the level of. This is currently in preview mode within Power BI, but again another very powerful feature where you can set your own different comparisons within that data set that you have underlying on the report. And as you will also see, as mentioned earlier, this will only show you the key attributes and the key comparison areas that we have set for the report, and you will see no personal data within any of these data sets available to you. And then finally, how you're also able to chat within Teams. How when selecting the Chat in Teams area, and as you can see, once the dialog populates, you're then able to share to an individual person. It will share the link directly to this individual visual. So these examples here just allow you to not only see the visuals when you download or when you open up directly Power BI, but how you can export it into PowerPoint, download it as a PDF, for example, send it as a link to chat within Teams to your colleagues. Where you do download as a PDF, for example, you've got the ability to print the page, embed the report into SharePoint, into a website or a portal. Again, these visuals where they are refreshed so many times a day, where you're then able to see it as a comparative in a sales office, and you can see exactly how you're comparing against your peers on the industry average. Thank you.